Hello, today I am going to be doing a review of this wireless charger from Taptes. I bought this on April 15th and today is the 29th. I've had about 2 weeks, well, a little less than 2 weeks. When I ordered it, it was also like this where it was waiting to be in stock, and I ordered it because of the reviews I seen on various forums for Tesla. So as you can see, it works with any Qi enabled or Qi enabled smartphone. It's compatible with all Tesla Model 3s except for the standard range. That caveat is because I do not believe the standard range has the USB ports that are required. It does say that it is that it supports dual wireless USB. It also brings up that it has a maximum output of 10 watts per each side, and it is compatible with any Qi enabled iPhone, XS, XR, X, 8 and 8 Plus, and Android phones. So I'm going to go ahead and go out there and show you what the experience was like installing it, and how it's actually worked for me. So here's the different videos showing how it works. One of the things to note is that the other chargers that exist mention that they won't work with iPhone, that it doesn't actually output enough for an iPhone. This one appears that it does. So that is a big issue. The other thing is that I had to buy another cable with it, and you'll see that when you actually, when I go out there, I actually ordered at the same time a cable. Let's see, why is it not showing that? I'll have to. I also ordered this cable, and you can see on this cable it provides power on one side and then data on the other. So that'll be important in a moment here. So let's go out and take a look at it. So here is my Model 3, and we'll go ahead and hop on in. Bluetooth turned off so that my audio won't go to the car. So the standard setup for this comes in the form of one of these pads. And this pad right here would be right there underneath, just like that. And the installation is pretty simple. All you do is you pull this pad off, and you can just throw that off to the side, and then you slide this thing right here. You just slide it out like that, and you pull that off. And so that's kind of important to remember, is that this is a slide. And you may have one of these cables, you know, installed inside of here already, you know, to actually provide power through the existing, you know, charger. And then the other thing you're going to do is you are going to take these two, see if I can get them out of here. You're going to take this out of the box, and what you do is after you disconnect everything, you feed one side of each of these through this, and you would plug them into the two USB ports that are down here. Now, this is the reason why the other cable is important, because a lot of us are using now one of these for dash cam, right? And so the dash cam is going to take up one of those two USB ports, and you're only going to have one left. And this device actually requires both of these to be plugged in. So the solution is either use just one side, or to get a splitter here like this that has power on one side and data on the other. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install this into one of the ports, and now I'm going to take my my dash cam USB stick, and that dash cam USB stick I'm going to plug into the side that doesn't have the red line on it, right? Because that's for data. Once I plug this in, you'll notice up here it'll start recording again. It just takes a second for it to start. Well, while it's doing that, I'll go ahead and, you know, make sure I got it on the right side. Yeah, there it goes. So it came up. So now I have two open spots, right? So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to feed one side into one and one side into the other. So I just push this thing down, and I feed the left side into the left, right side into the right, and I just literally drop it into place, and this has a perfect fit, right? So it just sits here against that, and then you know, this would go back on here. You know, obviously you want to have these cables that you were charging with before out, and then you just drop this thing on here and you slide it to the left. It just kind of clicks into place. Now these two guys need to be plugged in. So the red side of that splitter will go into one of these, and the other side will go directly into the USB port. Now at this point, this is installed, right? And you can see, you know, when you first plug it in, it lights up to show you that it's working. Yeah. I'll show that again, right? So I'm gonna unplug this side, plug it in. Once I find this spot, and it lights up just for a second. On the other side, same thing, right? Go ahead and unplug the other side, plug it back in. See it light up there, right? So one thing I want to bring up is that there is a down in here is an auxiliary port, and if this was up there, if this cable was up there, if that auxiliary port, I would plug in something like this that has high powered output. This is the Rove bolt that gives you the assistant in the car, but I'll save that for another video. But this right here would power these two cables much more powerful. So I may end up having somebody jump from this, you know, go through the molding here and put this outlet inside of the bottom down there. But at this point, you know, I do not have this ran, so I'm just going to leave this, you know, here for now, and that'll be for a future video. But just keep in mind, if you can get an auxiliary port up there, it's going to power it more than the USB ports up there do. So so now that they're plugged in, I'll go ahead and show you how this works. I can close everything up. Well, let me show you what else is in the box first. So the box comes like this, and I had that pad in it, obviously, and it has an installation paperwork that shows you how to install it. It's real simple. I don't, you know, it just talks about removing that thing to the side and then fishing the cables through, plugging it in, and you know, that's it. And then they also give you this some tape here. I think the tape is for affixing this to the back if you don't want it to move around at all or come up. You know, I don't really want to make it permanent. So the other thing is I give you this, which is actually really cool. It's really a cool thing for electric cars. So everybody knows that, like, you plug in your car and it maybe only needs a charge for like an hour. Doesn't need a charge for, like, you know, 6 hours, but you go inside to work or something. You can hang this on the charger or on your rear view mirror, or, you know, somewhere, and you could you put your phone number there and you say, hey, I want to go ahead and you know, you're okay to pull this off at like 5 p.m. or something, right? And then after you're done, they would unplug. You know, I would just hang it on the charger. They would unplug it, your car, you know, because you gave them permission here, and then they would leave this on your windshield. It says, please leave it on my windshield after use. So So that's an interesting, cool thing that they've included. So let's go ahead and show how it works. I've got a wireless phone here, and you can see it is it's down pretty low right now. In fact, it looks like it's at you know, it's at the let's see what the battery, 23%. So there's two different sides. You just drop it on there, and a second later it just shows that it's charging, and you know, it says charging slowly. And I think that might be the power output of the USB ports, right? They can't go higher than that, but it's, you know, for Android at least, it's showing that it's charging slowly, and that might be just the way Android reports all phones that are wirelessly charging, because they, you know, that you can get much more power out of a USB port. So this is this side, and you notice when you plug it in, it lights up here. That thing just shows that it's charging. It fits just perfectly. This is the Pixel 3 XL, and it is just the right size with a case, you know, an actual protective case on it. This is the larger version of the Google Pixel. So this is about as big as phones get. But I would say, like, if you had a Galaxy Note, a Galaxy Note would probably be a little bit bigger than you can put in there. Maybe you could do it without a case. So so that was it. I mean, like, you know, essentially now I don't have these cables that I need to line up. You know, before this came along, you know, I had those cables popping out of the bottom down here, and I had to kind of put my phone in there and just barely fit it in and then drop it down. Now I can just literally throw my phone up there, and just a second later it starts to charge, and it's in the right spot. And you know, I think it charges fast enough for if you're using navigation or whatever on your phone when you're driving, it would be charging fast enough to not be draining the battery. So the other, you know, point I wanted to make was that if you get something like this with a high-speed output, I bet you that thing would charge faster out of something like this. So, you know, Tesla, if you're watching, you should remove this port here, this you know, 12-volt accessory, and just put one down there too. That way we can plug in something like this and plug that into this, you know, charger, and it would charge at high speed. So hopefully you enjoyed me talking about the Taptes wireless charger that's available now on Amazon. And you know, they've had a couple revisions of this. It was highly recommended on the forums that I, you know, watch for the Model 3, and I'm definitely happy with it. I would suggest it to anybody that doesn't want to be fishing cables through there, just want to kind of throw their phone down there. So thanks a lot.